So we're going to be using Canva, and it's very low stakes today. We're going to create a very kind of basic project just to get introduced to Canva, learn the basics of navigating around in there, creating new projects, and hopefully creating something that'll be useful for your Ultra course or future Ultra courses. If you haven't yet been on Canva at all, it is web-based. It is www.canva.com. The nice thing about it being web-based is you can get to it anywhere you have internet connection. So it doesn't have to live on your computer, like a specific computer or anything like that. You could do this from any device that has internet. Here's kind of our first goal within all of this. We're going to be taking a look at it. To be honest, this was, for me, hopping into Canva for the first time, this was the most challenging part, I think, was just figuring out how to navigate around. How do I get to projects I've already created? How do I make a new project? How do I see things that have been shared with me? All of that. And then how do I get to some of those features for adding into a project that I'm currently working on? So navigation is going to be kind of the first step that we'll do. In addition to that, this can be kind of in the back of your mind here as you're working on this today. All of us are coming to Canva with different end goals in mind. I think some of us are looking at creating a banner today just to learn how to use some of the tools. Some of you are probably thinking about making presentations, maybe videos, doing instructional content that'll live within modules or documents, whatever it may be. We're kind of coming here with different things, the different what's and where they're going to end up. We're all going to work on that creation process together today. And then ultimately, knowing what and where you want to go with this stuff leads to, am I going to share it? Am I going to download it? What's my deliverable for this? How do I actually get this out of Canva so that it's useful? Here's our example today with this workflow, just kind of looking at it. We're going to be creating a banner for the idea of using it in your course for Blackboard. One of the things that I've looked up and played around with and kind of exacted now is that a banner is 4,800 by 960 for the pixel size, and that's for an Ultra course. The original course was...
The question this morning was, what's the banner for an original course? And of course, we're only going to be using those until fall of 26. That is 1,000 by 150.
1,000 by 150. And then ultimately, after we get this all created, this is where we're going to go inside of Blackboard when we go to our banner and we upload it from our device, because we'll download a JPEG or a PNG, and then that'll be added to our course. So that's kind of our game plan for everything that we're going to do here. And I'm going to hop over to Canva, and we'll do a little bit of a tour here inside of Canva so we can make sense of what we're seeing. This is traditionally where you start when you first open up Canva. So when you go to canva.com, you get logged in. This is your home page. This is my login information. You can see that I'm part of the Blackhawk Technical College team here. And then down below, my account that's tied to this right now is actually the Blackhawk account. This is a good place to always be aware of what you're actually, how you're logged in and what account you're creating stuff on if you want to find it in the future. On the left-hand side, you've got the home button, which gets you back to this. You can hop right in. If you're familiar with Canva, you can hop right in to create a design here. You can see all the different kinds of things that you can create here. You're going to eventually start creating stuff in here, and you're going to want to get back to it or use it or share it. And that would be your projects tab on the left-hand side here. You can see these are recent designs that we've done. So here's a banner thing that I'm going to share shortly. Here's the presentation that you saw. This is what we're working towards, is creating this banner. Okay, so there it is. And not necessarily you creating this, but you creating your own banner for your own purposes here. Once it loads up. And this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a whole bunch of different banners that are actually in there right now. And these are banners that I've been collecting as I've been creating for different courses that I've been involved with. This is a read-only copy or read-only access to this banner project, which means you can't hop right in to edit it out of the gates. You have to make a copy of it. So our first step is this. If you want to interact with this document, because it's read-only, you would go up to File, and you would make a copy of this banner project. The nice part about doing that is this banner project will then belong to you, and then you can create your own banners. It doesn't update here with me. It's your own thing, and then you can start adding on to those as you create more and more of these. Okay. The other part that I would recommend that you do is on my copy of this, and I'm going to change the background here to white so you can see this real quick. You notice that I've got these purple lines on here. These are guides. I've added those on. You may not be seeing the guides right now because by default this is not turned on in Banner. So the second thing we want to do here is we're going to go up to File again. We're going to go to Settings, and then we're going to go ahead and show the rulers and guides. This is pretty helpful because one of the big complaints that we have is, oh, I've got text on my banner, half of the text isn't showing up. How do I line that up so that it looks good inside of Ultra? Where do I put the image so that it shows up in my banner in Ultra? And that's what these rulers and guides are going to help with. Okay. So I'm going to delete this out of here. So we're kind of starting off with a blank canvas of sorts. Get that out of there too. I've got this white background with some rulers in here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add in some kind of a picture or some kind of a background. If I want it to be a simple banner that's not distracting from my course content, I can go ahead and click on the background of my banner here within Canva. And I'm always going to get this little toolbar that shows up above anything that I click on in here. And I can go ahead and start to mess around with the background colors. And there's a lot more that we can get into here. For now, if you want, you can scroll down. There's a bunch of primary colors and basic colors that are at the bottom. There's also gradients that are in here as well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a color on here. It's going to be obnoxiously bright here. So I've got solid color background. That may not be your thing here. You may want a picture background. So first area that we're going to dig into, I'm going to go into Elements. And in here is where you basically search for anything that you want to add to your Canva project. Again, it's Elements. It's on the sidebar. I can go ahead and type in something maybe that relates to my course. I'll type in digital media. And I'm going to get a bunch of graphics, photos, videos. Now, like any kind of free service thing that we've got going on here, there's limitations. And honestly, some of these pictures are okay. I don't know if they would be my pictures, but this is really the nice part about Canva is you get a bunch of stuff right here without having to go outside of it. I can click on these things, add them in. So the moment I click on something, it shows up in here. You can see the bounding box on it. You can see the four corners on it. And then I can also resize things to fit whatever it is that I'm going to be using them for. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this off to the side like that. And I've now added a picture in. Somebody last session said, hey, what about if I want to grab something from the internet? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and just open up a new tab on the browser real quick. And I'm going to do a generic search for digital media. And I'm going to go over to the images. And in here, a quick tip or technique, I guess, that I would do is you can go to the tools within any Google search for images. And then you can automatically below here, click on size and designate that only large images show up. If we were worried about copyright and things like that, we could also get into licensing and all of that. I'm not going to spend my time on that right now, but we should think about it as well. There's more things in here where you can, I forget where it is in the tools. It's type, I think, or usage rights. And then you can get into Creative Commons and all that. I used to use this quite a bit in my course so that we could post things, without any legal ramifications. Now, these are all thumbnails. I don't really want to use these because they're just thumbnails. I'm going to click on one of the images, though, and I can tell you we already heard that the banner size was like 4,000 by something. It's a really large image. So if you click on any thumbnails, it's always worth your while to click on it and then mouse over it on the right side to see what the actual size is. I'm going to go back to this one. I used this previously. It's pretty good sized here. And I can get these a couple ways. Sometimes you get lucky and you can click and drag these over to Canva, and then you can bring them into your project and drop them off there. It helps if I go to the right one, and then I can drop that off in here. If that doesn't work, like that picture didn't, because there's a lot of different image types that are on Google. I can also right click on the image, and I can go old school with this, and I can copy it, go back to my project, and then I can right click in my project space here, and then I can paste that in there. There's my image. I can take that and I can resize that. Now, unlike this image over here, just kind of a word to the wise, a little bit of caution here. This is a picture that the more I stretch it, the more pixelated it's going to get. So that's why you want to find a large image to begin with, so that you don't end up with that. This image is what they call vector art, and it's basically designed by math, which means I can keep stretching this and stretching it without it getting pixelated. Okay, that's one of the benefits of using the graphics here in Canva. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete that. If you want to delete anything, you can either do Control-Z to go back, to undo something that you don't want, or you can just select whatever it is, and then you can delete it. So I delete that out of there.
If you forget the Control-Z, there's also the little arrow back next to editing up on the blue bar.
Yep. So, where is it? It's right up here. It's
right
underneath
there.
my view thing here. Yeah. So I can go back up here as well to undo. And it even says as a quick key there, the shortcut to Control-Z. So I'm going to bring back my image here, Control-Z. The next thing we probably want to add here is you got a background, you got a picture. Most people, the part that they like about this is you can also add text right onto this pretty quickly. On the left-hand side, we've got the text option too. I usually do a generic heading. I add that in here. And then after that, you can do the font size, but really, honestly, it's quicker to just grab the corner, maybe. Grab the corner of this and then just drag it. Now, hopefully you're seeing how the guides are useful at this point. The top guide is, if I put anything above that, it's going to get cut off, especially text. If I put anything below the bottom guide, it's going to get cut off. And then, of course, the middle one just helps you line it up here dead center. So if I come in here and I type in digital media, did a background, we added in an image, we added in some text, and really my next thing is, after I get this all set up, I need to get this from here over to my course in Blackboard. And to simplify that so that you don't end up with a zip file that you're going to download, I would give the reminder again that if you don't want those other banners on there right now, go ahead and just delete those right out of there so that you only have one banner really that you've got going on. Okay, and that's gonna help you export this out of here with one PNG file. So up in the upper right hand corner, it's got the export symbol here, and then you've got share right next to it. So whichever verbiage you like, we click on that. We need a file to put into Blackboard. So I'm not going to copy a link, but if I did want to share it with you, if I want to share it with a team member, I could copy this link and then choose, they can view it or edit it. That's where I can do that. But what we're going to do is we're going to click on download. Again, I'm just going to end up with a picture. So I can have this be a PNG, which is an image file format, or I can choose JPEG. PNG is the better quality of the two, but it's also a larger file size. If you're one of those people that's close on your course quota size, maybe I would recommend JPEG, but again, PNG is going to look better. It shows you what size it is, and we're not going to worry about any of the other details here in the background. We'll just click on download. And within Canva here, I'm going to get a little downloader here that shows the progress of my download. And then within my browser, like anything that I download, up above here on the download icon in Chrome. Okay. So now on the Blackboard side of things, I hop on over there. I've downloaded my PNG. It's sitting in my downloads right now. And if you're not quite sure, you can click on the little arrow up here, and you'll see Ultra Course Banner template, and then you'll see a PNG file up there. Okay, so we're all good there. Come back here. I'm in my course now. And if you don't have your banner showing up, of course, on the right-hand side, you can go to Course Image, make sure that it displays there. And then once it is displaying, up in the top right, we've got the little edit thing here. I can click on that, and then I can choose by clicking on the image icon here what image I want to use. So I'm going to upload this from my device, and I can drag and drop it here from the downloads. I'm old school, so I'm going to go into the upload file. I'm going to go to my downloads. I'm going to choose that PNG, and then I'm going to open that. And there it is. There's the one that downloaded here. This is the one that I had showing. That's why this one downloaded, not the most recent one that I created. I click next. You can see everything lines up very nicely. You don't have to do any like magnification or anything like that. And then I save it. And then I save it. And voila. There it is. You can see that digital media doesn't get cut off. Everything is in there nicely lined up. If I go to my course card for this, if I was on that setting, with everything like centralized like this, it's going to look good on my course card as well, if you're somebody that uses those course cards. We hope you found this tutorial helpful and are excited to apply these tips to enhance your course content. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from Seedle. If you have questions or suggestions for future videos, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching and happy designing.